All right. Hopefully you've had time to gather your things that you need for class. I am Julie. I am a level 2 Warriors at Ease instructor. This is Bryant. He's been helping me out with class every week, which has been so nice. And we're here to guide you through a 30-minute restorative yoga class that is designed to create a greater sense of ease in the mind and body using gentle and supported movement along with your breath. So we'll just get started here in a laying down shape, and then we'll come back into the breath. So let's just get arranged and get settled. We're going to start with a supported shape on your back. I love using a pillow or blanket or towels underneath the head for extra support underneath the neck. And just start to lay down onto the back, stretch those legs long. And I love the option here for either this, which Bryant is doing with feet down, knees up towards the ceiling, constructive rest. If you do have low back pain, beautiful option. Or taking a bolster and sliding it gently underneath the knees here. Gives you a little bit of lift. Again, more support in that low back. And also, if you'd like, you can place a towel underneath those feet for even an extra level here of support. Allow yourself to just arrive. This is your yoga. This is your practice. And I really encourage you to keep checking in with the physical body. Keep checking in with the emotional body and see the things that are working for you and notice the things that aren't. And there's always an option to switch it up, to take a different shape. There's always an option here to say no thank you to any of the offerings here today. And that's just it. It's just an offering. Take what you want and leave what you don't. Allow yourself to come into this shape, to really arrive in this space. Allow the body to start to settle. I know the world might be feeling heavier these days for a lot of reasons. So what a beautiful choice to come to your mat, to take some time for yourself to reflect, to resource, to ground, and to create space for yourself emotionally and physically so that you may show up into this world from a grounded and centered space. If it feels right in the body, you can close the eyes. Let the body keep feeling heavier and heavier. Notice the areas in the body that might be holding on to some tension. Notice where your body feels tight or gripping. And as we move into each posture here, into each shape, allowing the body to soften around those edges. This shape supports the natural curves in our spine, softens our psoas and our hip flexors. The psoas muscle is a place that when we're in a state of fight, flight, in a high stress mode, its job is to mobilize and run. So it loves to hold on to a lot of stuff. Notice the natural length of each inhale and the natural length of each exhale. Notice the rise and the fall of the belly. Notice the expansion in your chest every time you take a breath. Maybe even pay such close attention to the breath that you can feel it moving gently in and out across the top lip. We'll be in this shape for 3 more breaths together. Take a big breath in. Big exhale. Two more here. Big inhale, fill it up. Big exhale. Maybe finding a cleansing breath here. Big inhale through the nose. And then opening your mouth and letting that breath go. Gently making your way out of this shape. You can start to just remove the bolster out from underneath the knees and then maybe roll over onto one side and then push yourself up to a seat. We'll be utilizing that bolster or pillow in our next shape, and leave that towel or blanket up where the head is. You can leave it right there. Bring the bolster, is it lengthwise? Can't think of it right now. The short way against your mat with a space underneath the towel or the blanket. And then you'll bring your right hip up against that bolster. Good. And then gently tuck those feet behind you. You can bring those knees together if that feels good for you. And you'll just start to lean over onto the side, draping the side body, your right side body here, over that bolster. And then letting that right shoulder come in between that towel underneath your head. So bring your right arm in. There you go. Yeah. And you can stretch it underneath you. Yeah. So you can let that bottom arm reach out long in front of you. So you can rest on that right shoulder. And then allow that towel or blanket to support you underneath the head. If you need to stack it higher, you can go there. Adjust that bolster wherever it feels right underneath the side body. And you might take that left arm and reach it up overhead, increasing that stretch all along the left side here. And then allow the knees to go where it feels most restful, most supportive. You can even take a towel in between the knees if you need a little bit softer place to land. You want that? Good. Really allow yourself to come into this shape. Take a big breath in. And a big exhale. We'll be here for just a few minutes. This stretch really gets in to your obliques. It stretches the intercostal muscles, those little muscles in between the ribs. It's a really nice shape to go to for healthy lateral flexion in the spine. So moving left to right versus front and back, where we typically go. If there is a spinal injury in your body, replace the bolster with a couple of blankets to just reduce the curve in your spine and bring it to a place that's a little bit more natural. Big breath in. And then big breath out. Where can you find space for yourself here? Keep allowing the body to settle in here. Keep allowing the body to feel heavier and heavier against the ground and against the support that you've created for yourself here. Can you find a version of this shape that feels really supportive and effortless? Big breath in. Where can you release tension on the breath out? A few more in this shape, fill it up. And then big exhale, where can you melt just a little bit deeper into the depth of your shape today? Allowing the tummy to be in a space that feels buoyant and spacious, soft. Maybe even lengthening the exhale. 2 more breaths here. Big breath in, fill it up. Big breath out. biggest breath you've taken in this shape. Inhale, fill it up. And then really big exhale. Gently, slowly making your way out of this shape. If you've lifted that hand up above, just take that top hand, place it in front of you. Start to push into that top hand, making your way up and out of this shape. You can remove that towel in between the knees, and then you'll just simply roll over onto the other side, and this time bringing your left hip or the other hip up against the bolster, drawing those knees gently together and bringing those feet gently behind you. And then take the upper body and then just start to drape the upper body down over that bolster. Should feel it resting kind of underneath the rib cage, maybe on top of that hip a little bit. And then adjust the head onto that towel or blanket. That left arm will be underneath you, that left shoulder, and then take any option with that top arm that feels good for you. You don't have to do the same thing on this side that you did on the other. Each side of our body works really differently. So honor each side exactly where it's at. You might reach that right arm up overhead, getting deeper into that stretch into the right side body. Take a big, deep breath in. Allow yourself to arrive. And then on your exhale, how can you settle in to this shape? Softening those areas in the body that really like to hold on to tension. Those big muscles in the body, our hips and our glutes, tops of our thighs. Check in with that space in between the shoulder blades. And make your way all the way up to the face and to the jaw and check in. Notice, are you holding on to tension there? And can you soften into those spaces? Maybe drop the tongue away from the roof of the mouth and give the jaw a little yawn, a little wiggle. Notice how that might change the rest of the shape for you. Big breath in. Big exhale. Big inhale, really fill it up. And then big exhale, where can you lighten the load? Where can you find more stillness? How can you create more space, more length for yourself? And this shape is really a beautiful place to go to relieve lower back pain and decompress the spine. We move around in this forward and backwards movement all day long, taking that movement in the spine. And so this is a nice place to go to give a little bit of an alternative movement into the spine and into the back. You're here for 3 more breaths. Big breath in, fill it up. Big exhale. On your inhale, where can you find length? And on your exhale, where can you create just a little bit more softness for yourself? Last breath in this shape, really fill it up. And then really long, slow exhale. Really gently making your way out of the shape. That top arm can come down and push into the floor right in front of you, making your way up and out. Remove that blanket from in between the thighs if you've utilized that. We'll keep the bolster at the same end of the mat. You might want to move the towel or the blanket or just scoot it out of the way. And this time we'll take the bolster long. Rest it at the top of your mat, and then we'll start that same way. We're taking a grounding twist here, moving into a little bit of a different place in the spine. Starting the same way, bringing that right hip up against the end of the bolster, drawing those knees gently together, and then maybe taking those feet and curling them behind you. Start with a really tall spine here first, and then gently start to twist the torso over to face the bolster, and then start to lay the torso down onto that bolster, making your way into this support system. And then you might need a little bit of extra support here, taking the towels or the blankets and stacking them on top of your bolster, just lifting that height up to meet you where you're at. That's an option. And then you might take the left cheek to the bolster, looking over the opposite shoulder, or bringing that right cheek down and keeping the head facing the same direction as the lower body. If you take it in the opposite direction, it will bring a deeper sensation, a deeper twist up into the cervical spine and into the neck. So just be really careful with where the neck is at today. You can always try something on, and if it doesn't feel right, come out of that. Allow yourself to settle in here. Can you take the work out of the arms, out of the upper body? If you notice that you're utilizing the arms to hold yourself up here, just maybe take them a little bit wider, taking the pressure out of that space. Big breath in here. And then on your exhale, where can you soften the grip? Check in with the hips and the glutes here. Can you let gravity do the work? Can you really allow these props and for the ground to hold you supported in this shape? Keep lengthening and deepening the breath. This shape holds the spine in a space of healthy rotation, gently stretches our lumbar muscles. It can relieve back pain. And with the tummy and the torso really pressed against the ground and being held by these props and these bolsters underneath you, it can also invite a deeper sensation and feelings of connectivity and stability and grounding. So just check in and notice what's working for you. Big breath in. Big exhale. A few more breaths in this shape. Always checking in with the breath. Can you allow the breath to be your guide? If you can't find a slow, steady breath, perhaps you ease out of the shape just a little bit, reconnect to that breath, and then come back in. Finding the depth of the shape that works best for you. Two more here. Big inhale. Big exhale. Last breath in this shape. Really fill it up. Let the belly expand. Let the chest rise. Long, slow exhale. Then with no rush, making your way up and out of this shape so we can start to move into the other side. Take those hands, press into the hands, make yourself up to a seated shape. And then again, just switch onto that left hip, switching sides, bringing that left hip up against to the end of the bolster, drawing the knees gently together, and then curling those feet behind you. Take that upper body, start to twist over towards that left shoulder, drawing that torso towards the bolster, and then drawing it down on top of it. And then noticing each side of the body can feel really different. So what support do you need here for yourself? Do you need a little bit more height on top of that bolster? Bringing that floor closer to you, giving yourself some more support. Settle in here. If you've noticed that you're holding on in the arms, can you maybe walk the arms a little bit wider? Taking that tension out of the arms and out of that space in between the shoulder blades. And allow yourself at least a couple breaths to settle in here with that left cheek down to the bolster. And then once you're settled in, you might see if you want to take this stretch into the cervical spine, into the neck by maybe bringing the right cheek to the bolster and taking it over the opposite shoulder. That can be really intense. So just check in, see what's working for you today and what isn't. Big breath in here. And on your exhale, how can you settle in just a little bit more into this shape for yourself? Check in with those areas in the body that might be holding on or gripping. Find some softness in the face and in the jaw. Can you create a sense of ease in between the shoulder blades? Can you lighten the grip around the hips and the glutes? Can you find space in the breath? And then check in. Perhaps you invite those feelings of connection and stability here. Really connecting to that sense of grounding and support that the bolster is providing. That sense of grounding, finding that connection with the body to the earth here beneath you. Big inhale. Big exhale. Two more breaths in this shape. Really take your time here. Big inhale, fill it up. What depth do you need to be on your exhale? Last breath here together in this shape. Big inhale, fill it up. And then long, slow exhale. And then with no sense of rush, gently start to make your way out of this shape, pushing into both hands, bringing that body up off of the bolster. You can keep it exactly where it is. We're going to move into a heart opening shape. So coming into a little bit of an opposite side of this. You'll take that bolster long behind you and then bring the tailbone up to the bolster. You might want your props nearby if you know you need some extra support here or enjoy certain shapes with the legs here. So start by taking the upper body down over that bolster, allowing that upper body just to drape open. Arms can reach out along the sides. You might flip those palms up towards the ceiling, opening up that chest, that heart space, that front side body, and lots of options here with the legs. You might take this constructive rest with the feet down, knees up towards the ceiling. You might stretch the legs long and place a bolster underneath the bolster or a blanket underneath the knees for extra support. Thank you. So the objective here is just to really find this nice, supportive heart opener, allowing the chest to open up. You'll feel a little bit of a back bend. Notice what feels right for you here, taking the shape with your legs that feels most supportive in that lower back. You can even take the feet together, knees wide, if you want to get into a little bit of the hips and the groin coming into more of a reclined butterfly shape. If you've taken that, in order to create a more supportive butterfly shape, I would take the blocks or some support underneath those thighs or those knees so that the legs don't have to do any work here. And I really love the option of taking a blanket or a towel and just bringing it nice and long and then wrapping it and supporting the ankles. So you'll come around the ankles and then go underneath so that the ankles have this nice little cushion to rest on top of. And then having that blanket even on top of the feet can create a little bit more grounding sensation for you. So whatever you're looking for today, whatever the body is needing and asking for, there's a lot of places to go. Allow yourself to arrive into this shape. Big breath in. And on your exhale, how can you settle in here just a little bit more? If it feels right in the body, you can close the eyes. Maybe find a nice soft gazing point out in front of you or above you if that feels better. This shape gently stretches our chest, stretches the shoulders and the abdomen. And if you do a lot of sitting at a desk or driving or computer work or texting, all those things of the 2020 human being, this beautiful shape that reverses all of that forward, inward, curving motion in the front side of our body. It takes everything and reopens up that front side of our body. It really takes us out of that place of deep contraction in the front side body as well. And it can open it back up and find a lot more space. The shape is a nice place to be able to come and find a deeper sense of your breath. Place where you can really notice the breath moving in and out of the belly, in and out of the chest. Big breath in. Big breath out. Whenever you're halfway through a shape, there's a beautiful opportunity to check in and notice, do you need to switch it up? Do you need to adjust or modify or add any props or take any props away to find the depths of your shape that your body is working towards? Might even do a gentle body scan here. Moving from head to toe. Checking in. Can you find more space? Can you lighten the grip around those little edges? Opportunity to check in. Notice, has anything shifted? Has anything changed? Good, bad, ugly. Can you come from a place of curiosity versus criticism? You are here for 3 more breaths. Big breath in. Big exhale. 2 more big inhale. Big exhale. Last one in this shape. Big inhale, fill it up. Nice, long, slow exhale. Really gently making yourself and your way out of this shape. You can take those hands underneath the knees and gently bring those knees together and then remove those blocks and that towel around the ankles. Just make your way up to a seat, even rolling over onto one side if that's easier in your body. We're going to move into a forward fold here just to counter that back bend that we took. Lots of options here. So you can take the bolster, which I love. This is a simple way to come into the forward fold. Just take one end of the bolster in between the legs. Legs are stretched long. And the forehead to the top of the bolster. And just start to draw the chest closer towards the thighs, letting the bolster hold the upper body in this place of support. If you know you need something different, you can also stack a couple of blocks in between the legs and bring the bolster on top of those, and then maybe a couple towels or a couple blankets to bring that ground up again closer to you. Lots of options here. We just want to bring that spine into the opposite shape of where we just were, countering that back bend that we just took. Wherever you are, wherever you settled in, can you take a big breath in? And then allow the exhale to take you into this shape. Settle in here. Take any fidgets that you might need. In our open heart pose, the spine was in this place of extension in the back. And this creates some healthy flexion in the spine. Gently stretches the back. And you might even feel a gentle stretch all along the hamstrings, the back side of the legs. You might give yourself a slight bend in the knees, or even take something underneath the knees so that you're not forcing those knees down to the ground. This shape can help relieve jaw tension. It's a great place to be able to turn inward. Take inventory. Create some self-awareness. Won't be here much longer. Take a few more breaths in this shape. Don't rush them. Big breath in. Big exhale. Are you gripping on the tops of the thighs? Can you soften there? Big inhale. Big exhale. Can you soften those shoulders away from the ears? Big breath in. Big breath out. Take one more breath in this shape. Inhale, really fill it up. Stay for the exhale. Gently coming out of this shape, just remove the props. Bring that spine up. Take those arms behind you just for a moment. Let those legs stay long, and you might start to drop the head back. Just see how that feels, if that feels okay in the neck. And then we'll make our way into our final resting shape, wherever you like to take that shape for yourself, wherever it feels the most restful, where you can find the most support, where you feel most at ease. You might come back into that shape where you were in the beginning of class. You can take a child's pose or a fetal shape on your side. You might throw your legs up the wall, since we're at home, or maybe up the sofa or a chair. In a shape that feels supportive and at ease. And start to settle in here. Softening from head to toe, releasing the scalp, releasing the grip in the forehead and around the eyes. Soften into the cheeks and soften into the jaw. You might part the lips, drop the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Let the shoulders rest. Allow the whole back side of your body to feel heavy. Allow the breath to come to a place that feels effortless and sweet. If you know you have to move on with your day, start to make your way out of the shape, or if This final resting shape, this Shavasana, is where you need to be. Then you can stay here as long as the body is calling and as long as you can do that. If you want to make your way out of this shape, gently roll onto one side, start to make your way up. We can seal in our practice together here in a seated shape if that feels right. Sit tall, really find that proud spine. Allow your arms, your hands to rest where it feels authentic to you. That might be hands on the thighs. It might be hands at heart center. This is traditional in yoga. It's a gesture of gratitude towards each other in the space. Might be one hand on the heart and the other hand on top of that, really finding this connection to the body and to the breath. I am super grateful for this community. I am so grateful for this one and only precious life. And today, just going to end with a loving kindness meditation. It's what feels appropriate to me right now, just in the midst of our world. So if you could bring someone into your mind, whether it be a group of people or someone you love deeply, or maybe it's yourself today, and silently repeat these words to them or to you. May you be happy. May you be healthy in mind, body, and soul. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the class, and this video will be available to you guys later on our YouTube channel. I highly encourage you to go subscribe so you can get all those other classes that so many wonderful teachers are providing. They're great. Go check them out. And if you want to make a donation, the link is below. So that's always an option, and we're always so, so grateful. This is Julie and Bryant, and we're signing off of Warriors at Ease, Operation Remote Resilience in Health, Resilience, and Connection. Namaste.